I'm at that age where I'm glad we haven't got a Harold Shipman knocking round. Do you know what I mean? Those of you too young to know who Harold Shipman is, right? He is our most prolific serial killer, right? He killed 300 people. He killed old people. That's my point. He'd have his eye on me, go, oh, give him a few more years. And he was a doctor, right? But the reason you haven't heard of him, right, is because he never appears in those lists of the worst serial killers. And he was, like, one of the worst ever. But he didn't act like a serial killer, right? He was a GP. He was old school. He had a little shirt and tie, little tweed jacket, little beard, little glasses. He'd do house visits. He'd go around to see Edna, 85. You all right, Edna? Yeah. Do you want a cup of tea? Yes, please. And he'd make Edna a lovely cup of tea, right? Then he'd just put her in a lethal amount of opioids, right? And he'd just give Edna the tea and watch her drink it and fall asleep and die. And that was it. He didn't even masturbate. You know? Yes, it is a waste, sir, yeah. And they reckon he got the idea when he was a little lad, Harold Shipman, little Harold Shipman. He watched his mum dying of lung cancer, being given morphine, and somewhat triggered him. He thought, I'll grow up, become a doctor, and I'll do this. I don't know whether it means that he liked the way the morphine put his mum out of pain. So these were like mercy killings, like, you know, reliving the kindness. Or the opposite, he was jealous of old people who lived longer than his mum should have, so he was punishing them. I don't know, doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter, because if you can really understand why someone does something like that, you might spot the signs in the future and stop a crime before it happens. You know, I always think that when there's a school shooting in America, right, it's usually some emo, right, who goes into a kindergarten, kills about 30 toddlers, turns the gun on himself, right? And all the eyewitnesses, they always say the same thing. They go, oh, he was a loner, he sat at the back, he was shy, he was bullied. Let's round those cunts up now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, go into a school, see who the bully's smashing up, right? Go, I'll take it from here, mate, thank you, right? And drag that little dweeb off to Borstal or jail or so. Go to the bully, go and find another one. You know what I mean? He's doing a great job, but we need more. But they're beating up future child killers. You get obsessed with crime and punishment as you get older. I've always been pretty interested. I studied philosophy at university, and a big part of that is morality. And I've always been against the death penalty. Right? I was a young liberal, and I was really anti the death penalty. And now I'm an old liberal. And I'm still anti the death penalty, but now I love it when someone gets killed doing something they shouldn't at the time. Like, you see a bloke in Brazil, a hostage video, he's got a young girl, he's got a gun to her head, and he goes, you won't take me alive, copper, and then the marksman just takes out his brainstem. Oh, I love that. Pause, rewind, all right? Or when a bullfighter gets gored to death. That is my favourite, right? Particularly when the horn goes up the arse. That, I call that a hole in Juan. Thank you. Or those videos coming out of lawless New York. You see them on Instagram and YouTube. It's someone with an iPhone. He's got someone, right, he's knocking over this little convenience store. He's got a fucking hoodie and a knife, and he's nicking all the booze. He doesn't care he's being filmed. He's going to get away with it. He's going to get away with it. Then, from behind the counter, comes a little 70-year-old Korean man who batters him to death with a broom. I fucking love that. I can't wait to be a 70-year-old vigilante. Just walking round Hampstead with a walking stick. Oh, but it's a sword. I paint it white as well to look even more vulnerable, right? Wear dark glasses. I'd see a gang of youths. I'd go over to them and go, so, excuse me, guys, do you know where the Nike store is? I want to buy some Air Jordans with all this cash. And as they go for it, you little fucking cunts. But the death penalty is not like that, is it? It's not in self-defence, it's not in the heat of the moment, it's cold justice, you know? Don't matter what you've done, you could have murdered people, you know? You stand trial, they find you guilty, they put you on death row, sometimes for 10, 15 years, which seems unnecessarily cruel, and then they murder you in front of witnesses. And it's from the Bible. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The state says you murdered someone, so we're going to murder you. But If you rape and murder someone, you still only just get murdered. That's a loophole, isn't it? That's like... That smacks of misogyny to me. That's like the judge going, the rape was free, but we're going to... You know what I mean? Just once, I want the judge to go, right, you raped and murdered someone, so you're going to be taken from here to a place where you'd be hung by the neck and raped. What, at the same time? Yes, yes. We got loads of volunteers with dildos, right? So he sort of goes down, fuck off, fuck off. Okay, he's dead. Yeah, I know. Oh. It might work. But the longer you live, the grumpier you'll get. It's not just going to happen to me, it's going to happen to all of you. Because the longer you live, the more shit you see. And you go, oh, fuck, this again, right? And the more burden you carry. And the older you get, the weaker you get, so the burden gets heavier. And you go, oh, God, this again. And you can't die nowadays. You know what I mean? You go, oh, thank God, I'm dying. Oh, fuck, I'm back. You know what I mean? They can transplant every organ now. Whatever's got... Transplant every organ. Not your brain. That wouldn't make sense. You are your brain. So that would be an everything else transplant, wouldn't it? But I'd sign up for that. I don't care about this. It's to get this round. If I could leave £1 million to science, so when I died, suppose when I died, my body's crushed, killed instantly, but my head's intact. They keep that on ice, wait for a body donor. Some poor bloke gets his head crushed, put my head on his body, and I'm back. I know. Statistically, I will get a bigger penis as well, so... The odds are in my favour there, trust me. I wake up in the future, I see the scar and I go, oh, that's all right. You know what I mean? I go, oh, you've always wanted a big knob? I go, yeah, I've always wanted a big knob. I go, let's have a little bit of me time, shall we? And I start, but then every time I look down, I go, oh, that's not my knob. Do you know what I mean? I go, oh, that's not my knob. Oh, that's not my knob. It's not my hand either, carry on. It's like, you know what I mean? I was doing an interview a while ago. I don't think the journalist liked me. He asked me this question. I thought it was rude, right? So I gave a fake answer, right? He said, so what have you got planned for your funeral? And I went, I want to be fed to the lions at London Zoo. He went, really? I went, yeah. I want the zookeeper to take up my big, fat, dead, naked, bloated body in a wheelbarrow, right? Just dump it in the lion's den, doof, like that. Loads of tourists going, is that the bloke from the office? Like that, and then 2 big lions come out and just start eating me. And lions, they start with the soft bits of the body to get inside to the rib cage. So they'd probably get a testicle each, wouldn't they? Because that'd be the easiest of it. By then, my testicles would be about a yard apart, so that'd be easy. They just start eating towards me. Like Lady and the Tramp, really. Romantic. So I said that as a joke, but he totally believed me. So much so that when he was writing up the article, he called London Zoo and asked them if that would be allowed, and they said, no, of course not, right? So when the article came out, the headline was, London Zoo refused Ricky's request to be fed to lions. Like I'm a fucking psychopath. My point is, you can't worry about what happens after you die. Don't live your life, let someone else worry about it. You're dead, you've done your bit, right? I know some people who really are stressed about what happens after they die, some religious people, and they believe in heaven and hell and all that. So now they're getting a bit, oh, have I been good enough? I mean, great, heaven's great, but hell, God, what if I go to hell? And I go, there's no hell. It's made up to frighten kids. Like, my favourite horror film of all time is still the original Exorcist, right? First time I saw it on VHS, right? I was blown away. I watched it again straight away. I loved it, right? And there's a bit in that that's meant to be the really poignant bit. And I laughed the first time I saw it because it was the idea of the devil being this crass and childish. You know the bit. So, the little girl's possessed by the devil, and they're doing an exorcism, and they're throwing holy water on it. She's hissing, right? They're going, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. And at one point, the devil makes the little girl turn her head round, and he makes her say, your mother sucks cocks in hell. Right? And the bloke, she said, he's devastated. He's like, because he's thinking, oh, no, that's the real devil. So he knows, so it's true. My poor mother sucking cocks in hell, right? If scientists actually found the devil, I was wrong. There is a devil. They found the devil. They tested him. It was peer-reviewed. It won the Nobel Prize for fucking everything, because it would be the greatest discovery of all time, right? And I'd look at the science, I'd be mind-blown, but I'd go, well, you've got to follow the science. So, you know, yeah, I believe in the devil. I wouldn't even be belief, it would be knowledge. I'd want to meet him. If the devil actually existed, I'd want to see it from my... As long as I was safe. I don't know what makes you safe from the devil. But if he existed, we'd find out, wouldn't we? We'd, like, vampires live forever, but now we know a bit of garlic really fucks them up. So we discover something, like if you put a devil in a cage with a sprig of parsley on top, he's weak or something, right? And I'd meet the devil, right? And I'd go for an order, and I'd go, he'd be there. I'd go, are you the devil? He'd go, yeah, right? And then he tried to hurt my feelings. And that was his best shot. And he went, Rick, I go, what? He goes, your mother sucks cocks in hell. I go, I don't care. I don't. 1, she's dead. 2, she was heterosexual. 3, she never had her teeth in towards the end. So, no. But it's hell. Think of all the terrible things that could be happening to her. Being raped by red-hot pokers, rats eating her eyes. My mum gets cock duty. Go on, girl. That has got to be one of the better jobs in hell. Isn't it? It's like... terrible job on earth. I've never sucked a cock in my life. I never will. But if I died and I'm in hell, right, tortured for eternity, I'd see the first cock, I'd go, I'm on this. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'd be looking round seeing people skinned alive. I'd chow down. I'd be looking over the big man going, I'm doing a great job here. Leave me on this. And there's the devil with a clipboard looking a bit confused. No one's ever gone straight for the cock, but he goes, OK, carry on. Emotions. They expect everyone to care about their thing as much as they do, right? And it's why the world's getting worse. And the world is getting worse. Don't get me wrong, I think I've lived for the best 50 years of humanity. 1965 to 2015, the peak of civilization, for everything, for tolerances, for freedoms, for communication, for medicine. And now it's going the other way a little bit. The last couple of years, just a little blip, maybe, right? And I'm not saying this just because I'm old, because that does happen. Old people say things like, oh, everything was better when I was a kid. Well, of course it was, you were a kid. Everything's better when you're a kid, right? Being old is the shit bit. Whatever's happening in the world, being old is the... I wake up these days and I go, oh, fuck, I didn't die. Right? Got to do it all again. I'm usually hungover, headache, liver pains. I can't walk for the first 5 minutes because I've got no joints in the knees, right? I'm getting fat again now, right? Now, I was thin till I was about 28, like proper skinny, like 9.5 stone, right? Then I got a job, right? And the next sort of 20 years were what I call my eating years, right? And I just got steadily fatter and fatter till I reached a peak of unwellness and blobbiness when I was about 48 years old. And it was one Christmas, I was at home, lying on the floor, right? And I was saying to Jane, I'm having a heart attack, right? And honestly, my heart rate was like 130. I felt nauseous. I had palpitations. I was sweating because I'd eaten 11 sausages. True story, right? I was like one of them snakes. You know when you see a big, like, python swallow a pig whole, and then it's just fucked. It's just like, for a week, it's like a duffel bag, just there. That was me, right? And obviously I wasn't having a heart attack, but it worried Jane. She said, you've got to start looking after yourself. I thought, yeah, you're right, 48. So I started working out, right? I started working out every single day. I didn't give anything up, right? I don't eat meat anymore, but I was having like 2,500 calories, 3,000 calories a day, including wine every night, right? But I burnt it off the next day. Just so I could do all that, I worked out for an hour and a half every day, running, weight training. I had more time on my hands than the average person. I had a gym built in my house. I had no excuse. And I lost about 20 pounds, and it was great. But now, I still eat and drink too much, right? But I physically can't burn off the calories. I can't do enough because I'm so old and broken and tired. So I'm going to get steadily fatter and fatter again. And this time, I am going to die. I'm losing the hair. It's getting really thin. I know it looks great for their cheers, but no, honestly, in a lift, right, with that light directly overhead and the mirror, it looks like an X-ray, right? I'm gonna have to buzz that off soon. I'd never wear a wig. Oh my God. Guys, if you wear a wig or a toupee and you think you've got away with it, you haven't. Everyone knows. Everyone knows immediately. My brain knows a wig has come into the room before I do, right? I could be at a party or something and it'll go, there's a wig in here. I go, is there? Yes, there is. Yeah. Spidey senses for the wig. It's something, the little bit of the way they smile at you like there's nothing wrong. Telltale signs, isn't there? I was put off wigs for life, though, by my Uncle Reginald. A great bloke. He's dead now. Died a few years ago, right? I was only little, right? But he went bald in his 20s, tragically bald. I mean, he started to go bald and his hair fell out. It might have been something. It might have been alopecia or something. I don't know. But he was bald for 10 years, into his 30s, right? Turns up one day at our house, Elvis. What is... like... And I remember I was about 8, and I said to Auntie Edna, what happened to Uncle Reginald's hair? And she went, it was a miracle. They were lying. They were just hushing. It was ridiculous. Everyone knew he was bald, right? But he'd embroiled his family in on the lie, so they had to lie as well. They're going, yeah, it just grew back. Yeah, it's amazing, right? And there's so many things he wouldn't do because he was terrified of the wig coming off, right? We weren't allowed balloons at parties, right? Auntie Edna said, yeah, Reg is allergic to balloons. He wasn't allergic to balloons. He was terrified one of us kids would rub one on our sweater, right? And his wig would fly across the room. We've got photos of him in the family album, right? And if he's at a wedding or a christening and he's holding a baby, he's always holding it at arm's length, like that. So he can't grab his wig. It must have been on his mind all the time, right? It was the only thing he feared, that wig coming off in public, and this ridiculous lie being exposed. He was in the army, he was hard as nails, wasn't scared of anyone or anything, spiders, snakes, roads, wasn't scared of cancer. How's the chemo going, Uncle? Not a problem. We got a photo of him, and the last year, I think, he was 75, yeah, must have been his last year he was alive, right? And it was a hot day, and he was in the garden in his little trunks, right? And he was a wizened little man by then, and white chest hair, jet black wig still. Died in it, buried in it. He's wearing it now. A little skeleton with jet black hair, right? Like Posh Spice for eternity, right? But I knew all that was going to happen. I knew I was going to get old and fat and ill and blind and deaf and shit myself and be pushed around in a fucking bucket, right? But you're ready for that because you're warned. You know everything about getting old, right? Well, one thing they don't talk about, and so you're not prepared, and it was a shock to me, right? I only found out about it recently, and I'm going to share it with you now. The distending testicles. I didn't see, you don't know about it, right? But it happens in your 50s, right? I wasn't checking them or anything, but I didn't see them for 20 years, right? But all I know is, as a young man, they were pert, and now they're like 2 plums in a sock, right? I don't know when it happened, but it was recently, right? They just, and this is how I found out, right? So as I've been getting older, and they've been secretly stretching away, right? As I've been getting older, I've been getting richer, so my baths have been getting more and more luxurious, right? And last year, I moved into a new house in Hampstead, right? I had a big bath, a big sunken bath. Oh, south-facing windows. I was in there, like, the first night. Like, oh, lovely bath. Sun streaming in, classical music on. I thought, this is the life. I looked down, and they're floating, right? Now, I'd never dreamt that testicles would float. They seem like they'd be heavy, don't they? You could tie things down with them. They'd sit, do you know what I mean? And most people never see there. Like in the sea, you've got trunks on. In a shower, they dangle, and baths aren't usually that deep. And that was my first thought. Oh, my God, I never thought testicles would float, right? And then my second thought kicked in, which was, hold on, this bath's 2 feet deep, right? And I'm sitting on the bottom, and they're at the top. What is going on? Right? And I looked, and my testicles are now longer than my penis, right? Easily, by some way, right? In fact, they've created like a little fleshy sort of life raft, right? My penis was dry, just nestled, just floating on top, like that. Just bouncing around. I should have given it a little whistle. No, but I'm just looking at this thing, this is bizarre, fucking hell, right? And I thought maybe it's a fluke. So to test it, I held them under the water for a minute, and I let them go, and they popped up. They're really buoyant, right? So you try it when you get home, if you're in your 50s, right? And a man, obviously. Or Caitlyn Jenner. But the world is getting worse. It's very sad. But we all die. We all know we're going to die. And we all do die. So it doesn't really matter if we die one at a time along the way or all at once in one big final Armageddon. The result is we're all going to be dead one day and we're all going to be dead forever. And I've been to a lot of funerals in my time. You live this long, you know a lot of people, they die, right? And I don't mind funerals because it's the end. You know what I mean? I hate weddings. Oh, fucking hell. It's so much hope. You know what I mean? And they're needy and arrogant. It's out. They go, oh, we're getting. Do you want to come and watch us for 12 hours? No, fuck no. Even the invite is arrogant, isn't it? It's like a royal decree. You are cordially invited. It's not a fucking honour. I don't want to go to your shitty wedding. Do you know what I mean? And then you go, oh, right, yeah. When is it? And they go, 2 years' time. They know you haven't got an excuse for 2 years' time. So you just have to hope that one of them dies. You know what I mean? And so you go, oh yeah, I'll be there, yeah, where is it? And they go, India. Oh, fuck off. I'm not having injections for you, you boring bastards. And I've got a big family now, a big extended family, and there's always one of them getting married, and they know I've got a bit of cash, so I can't give them a tea set anymore. I've got to get them their first fucking house. You know what I mean? I've got a big family because I had older brothers and sisters, and they all had loads of kids, and their kids have had loads of kids, and their kids have had loads of kids, because we're chavs, basically. There's a new baby every Christmas. It's one of those families. You know what I mean? I go home, it's crowded. I go, oh, who's this, that? Oh, yours, oh, well done. I don't know him, I don't know her. You know what I mean? It's like... But what I've done over the last couple of years, I've got them each individually, right, in private, and I've told them that I'm leaving my entire fortune to just them, right? But to keep it secret. So they all love me, right? And I'm not doing a will, so my funeral is going to be a fucking bloodbath. I'm at that age now where people ask me what I've got planned for my funeral. Even journalists say, oh, what's your funeral? I go, I haven't planned it. They go, no, I go, no, it's fucking depressing. Also, I don't care. I'll be dead. They go, don't care about what people think of you. No, I'll be dead. They go, what about your legacy? Fuck my legacy. You can't plan your legacy. I think of all these people who died thinking they'd be loved forever. Eminent people going, there is a statue of me in the town square. And now they're pulling down the statues, aren't they? Going, pull down this fucking statue. Why? He was a slave trader. Pull down the fucking statue. He built the hospital. Should we pull that down? No, leave the hospital. Leave the hospital. Just pull down the fucking statue. Pull down the statue and dump it in the canal. He built the canal as well. It doesn't matter, just pull down the fucking statue. I don't think you should whitewash history. If you find out something new, add to it. Like if there's a statue and it's got Lord Whimsy, trader, philanthropist, add bit racist. Or one of those blue plaques on a house, go, Sir Robert Spuke lived here. Author, poet, pedo. Creating man. Oh, what's it got? What do you mean, what's it got? Has it got, like, claws and fangs and shit? No, not really, no. Oh, has it got poison? No, no poison. Oh, has it got armour, like spikes and shit? No, no armour. How will it survive? It's got the best brain in the animal kingdom. It'll work stuff out. It'll create weaponry to take down beasts 100 times mightier than itself. It'll wear their carcass through the Ice Age. It'll go through famine. It'll go through world wars. It'll eventually start getting scared of words. But for 10,000 generations, it'll be top dog. Oh. What are they? His testicles. Oh. What are they for? He keeps everything in there. His seed, his DNA. What's DNA? It's like a blueprint for life. It determines what you're like, what sex you are. How many sexes are there? 2. Also, that's where he keeps his testosterone, so he's fucking well hard, right? And if you take a finger and flick a testicle, he's fucked. He's absolutely fucked. He's thrown up, he's on the floor, he's out of the game, absolutely kippered. Why are you putting it on the outside? For a laugh, just for a laugh. You know, religious types, Americans. One bloke said to me, "Speak for yourself, dude, I ain't no ape." And I sent back, "Well, you are, because we're all apes." He went, "Nah, what's a gorilla ever done? We've walked on the moon." I sent back, "What do you mean we? You've done fuck all. You've spelt moon wrong." It's weird, isn't it, when people take credit for the sort of rest of the species, because that's what's pushed civilization forward, you know, a few geniuses along the way. Like, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Most of us do nothing. We eat shit and die. Like, if there was a meteor heading towards Earth to definitely destroy it, 4 billion people would get down on their knees and pray to their particular god, and a few hundred scientists would work out how to get Bruce Willis up there to stop it. It's an odd concept, praying, for me. I can't work out how God decides. All those people praying at once for different things. Is it like best idea wins? Or is it a democracy? Like he puts things at each issue, he goes, right, votes for and against, you know? If it's a democracy, we're in trouble. We're a tiny nation. Like, next time there's a flood warning in the West Country, if we're all going, oh, I hope everyone's okay. If the whole of China is going, yeah, fuck Bristol. There's a billion of them. More about China later. Yeah, I've always found praying quite strange. Like, if I bump into a friend or neighbour and I know they've got a little kid, and I go, oh, how's so-and-so? And they go, oh, not good. He's in intensive care. We don't know if he's going to pull through, but I pray every night. What I do, as an experiment, I go home and I pray twice that he doesn't make it. I don't do that. On a serious note, I've been doing I don't think so. Not in my lifetime. Probably not in yours. You know, it's like the closest one, the only one viable, is Mars, and that's 9 months away on a rocket. Right? It's got no atmosphere, an average temperature of minus 70 degrees. How's this for irony? Scientists are working out whether they can detonate nuclear warheads in the crust to release the frozen water to cause an atmosphere and get a little bit of global warming going. I mean, but I don't know. It's only billionaires have got enough money to waste on exploration. There's nothing out there, you know. It's like, now you can do space tourism. Have you heard of that? You can pay $150,000. They shoot you into space for an hour, and you float around going, I'm in space. I mean, we're already in space. Earth is right in the fucking middle of space, right? It's the best bit of space there is. It's got car parks and cinemas. It's like there's nothing else to see. It's like living in London and going, I wonder what Coventry's like. You don't... Our own stupidity, basically. Because we are getting more stupid as a species. No doubt about that. You can now do a university degree course in Taylor Swift. How fucking low academically can you go? There's an institute in London called the School of Flower Arranging. I went past it, I couldn't believe it. School of Flower Arranging. I looked in, and there's people having lectures. Flower arranging. My mum used to pick flowers every day from the garden, cut flowers, put them in vases around the house. At no point did anyone come round and go, what unqualified cunt did these? Yeah, the Earth is in a terrible mess, and it's my fault, my generation's fault, and the generation before, the boomers, with their deforestation and their fossil fuels, ruining the ozone layer, raising the temperature by a few degrees, so parasites, you know, bacteria, and these zootropic pandemics are just going to get worse and worse. Like, if you're 20 years old now, you're going to have a very different middle age to me. I've had the best 60 years of civilization, right? But if you're 20 now, in 40 years' time, you're going to be in your house wearing a mask, crying. Like you do now over jokes. And I'm not going to be around to see that, but I am going to spend my entire fortune from now on private jets to make sure it definitely fucking happens. We're going to be the first generation that future generations are jealous of, right? Because we had it all, and we're using it all up. We're using up all the fresh water. We're using up all the fossil fuel, right? Usually you look back in history and you feel sorry for it. You go, oh, how did they live like that? Oh, how did they get around? No indoor toilets. I've got 9 toilets in my house. And sometimes I just run around flushing them for a laugh, like that. Just so that in 40 years' time, Greta Thunberg has to shit out of a window. I've got 28 radiators. I always have them on full. Then I put the aircon on full, and it sort of settles at about 20 degrees. A lovely... It's how the cat likes it. She loves it at 20 degrees, and I spoil my cat. I love cats. I love having a cat. Think about cats are great, but if you let them out, they bring home the most disgusting things. Last week, mine brought home a scouser with herpes. And it wasn't quite dead, so I had to get it by its legs and crack its head against the table. To frighten their kids into behaving well. They have to go to dark places to shock them into not fucking dying. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if I was little and my mum made my tea, and it wasn't my favourite, it was boiled potatoes instead of chips every day, and I went, I don't like them, my mum would go straight to, of course you do. There's children your age in Africa and they're starving to death, right? And I go, Jesus, all right. You know what I mean? The true story, I was 7 years old, right? And I'd been playing in the park, and I came running in, and my mum went, Ricky, come here, sit down. There must have been a local pedo incident, right? And my mum went, never go in the toilets in the park again. And I went, why? She knew she couldn't explain paedophilia to a 7-year-old, right? But this is what she came up with. She said, because there's a man going round, and he's cutting little boys' willies off. I was like... What? That's a fucking thing, is it? That's a... I didn't sleep for a week. And it worked. I never went in those fucking toilets again. But she knew instinctively. If she'd have gone, Ricky, come in, sit down. What's the matter? Never go in the toilets again. Why not? There's a paedophile. What's a paedophile? Oh, he's a man who gives you sweets and puppies. Bring it on, you know what I mean? At 7 years old, I'd wank off anyone for a puppy. I'd be like that, wouldn't it? Be like that. Gonna get a puppy here. I'm getting a puppy. I'm getting a puppy. Gonna get a puppy here. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I cannot do it left-handed at all. Fucking hell, come on. Have you been drinking? Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. Fucking hell. Oh. I've started, so I'll finish. Oh, fuck me. Oh, what sort of puppy is it? A what? A Labrador? Throw in a kitten, I'll give you a blowjob. I'll go over that. Kitten, puppy, come. Oh, I miss the local pedo. Don't you? There was always one, wasn't there? Outside the school, you'd be with your mum and she'd go, look, there's a paedophile. Because he had the uniform of the pedo. You know what I mean? You could spot old bloke, bald on top, long down the side, like that. And I'll go, that's a dirty pedo. Say hello, 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 like that. Dirty, look, that's what a fucking pedo looks. Dirty fucking paedophile, right? That's what they look. If he touches you, we'll burn his house down. It was a good system. You know what I mean? But then Michael Jackson comes along and he breaks the mould, doesn't he? Because He's not an ugly bloke outside the school. I'm not saying Michael Jackson definitely was a paedophile. No one knows, only Michael and all those people he paid off. All I'm saying is that kids loved Michael. Kids loved Michael just to look at him, like a little Disney cartoon, wasn't he? And then his voice, hello, you know, that... Oh, Michael Jackson go up to any kid he wanted. Probably not like that, didn't he? Probably like that. That's another thing. Kids would go, there's Michael Jackson, but he's going away from us. He wasn't. He was going towards them. But people don't care, because he's so good. Right? He's so good. He's so popular as well. I think if he'd have lived to stand trial, he'd have beaten the rap, because everyone loves him. And he'd be so vulnerable in court as well, wouldn't he? He'd be there like that. And the judge would go, Michael, did you fiddle all those kids? And he'd go, hee. Judge would go, case it, get out of here, you scam. Go on. Evolving for 3.5 billion years. Everything that exists at the moment all came from the same little blob of organic matter 3.5 billion years ago. That's why it annoys me when people say, oh yeah, humans, we're the most evolved. We're not the most evolved. We're no more evolved than the slug or the snail. People go, oh, come on, look at them. Yeah, they got it right early doors. Nature keeps testing them. Do you want eyes? No. Not really. No. I have noticed one thing about the slug and the snail. Let's not split hairs, let's be honest. The snail is basically a slug with a shell on it, isn't it, right? But if you pull the shell off the snail, it starts giving it all, oh, I'm dying. And the slug is like, welcome to the real world, cunt. So yeah, we've been around for about 300,000 years, and for most of that time, we had the same life expectancy as every other wild ape, 35, 40, if you're lucky. You're born, you grow, you mate, you're playing with your kids, you get a cut, you go, oh, what's that, dead? Right? But now with antibiotics and medicine, we've pushed that forward. A child born today can expect to live to about 100. And scientists said soon that'll be 120. And science also said that in the near future, there's no reason with proper care and attention that human beings won't regularly live to 150 years old, which is amazing until you remember that we get a set number of brain cells, right? Which we only lose. You can't get them back. So in the future, there's going to be 15 billion people on the planet, you know. Half of them are going to be over 100, and they're all going to have Alzheimer's. It's going to be like Dawn of the Dead. It's going to be fucking horrible. You know? My auntie died of Alzheimer's. I don't know how you die of Alzheimer's. She forgot to live. Right? And for the last couple of years, she was in her home, and my cousin, her only kid, used to visit her like once a week, and it got more and more depressing because soon she didn't recognise him, and then she didn't know who she was, or you know, and then she died. And at the funeral, we were sort of reminiscing about the good days, about some of the funny, absent-minded things she said and did, and we realised, oh, probably that was the beginning of the disease before it was diagnosed. And this is a true story. Once, my cousin went home from work, and he went in, and she went, your tea's in the oven, I've had mine already. He went, oh, cheers, Mum. And it was like a fish pie, right? He ate the fish pie, then he went, oh, God. And he ran upstairs, vomited, went back down and went, Mum, the fish is off, I've just been really sick. And she said, yeah, it made me really sick. Hospitals that go, wake up, Baldy. Look, me twerking on TikTok. Look. No, I did a lot through the pandemic, presumably because they couldn't even see their own family. And it's through Make-A-Wish Foundation. Do you know the charity Make-A-Wish Foundation? They're great, and they give these dying kids their, like, one wish. And if it's me, I always say yes. And I always start the video the same way. I go, why didn't you wish to get better? What, you fucking retarded as well? I don't do that either, okay? These are all jokes, all right? I don't even use that word in real life, the R word. You just used it, Rick. Yeah, in a joke. That's not real life, is it? I'm playing a role. You sounded pretty convincing. Yeah, because I'm good. You wouldn't level that accusation at other art forms. You wouldn't go up to Sir Anthony Hopkins and go, oh, I saw you in Silence of the Lambs. You a cannibal, are you? No, I was playing a role. Oh. Seemed pretty convincing. Yeah. He's good. And I'm good, and that's why I do things well. Imagine if I came at her and did things not very well, so you knew I was joking. That'd be fucking retarded. Has anyone ever bothered asking the dolphins if they mind swimming with dying kids? You know what I mean? Because that can't be fun for somebody. They're like flipping around and suddenly dumps a truckload of pale teenagers flailing. And the dolphin's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck's this? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, let them do it. Oh, fuck, what they're all dying. Of what? That one just stuck his fingers in my fucking blowhole. He's not going to be around for long, nor am I if I can't fucking breathe. A child born today in the UK has a percentage chance of survival of 99.8%, which is incredible. I thought, is that just the mollycoddled West? And I was putting in third world countries. And even in Africa, it's like 96.5%. In the wilds of Africa, where everything wants to fucking eat a newborn baby, babies are vulnerable enough, aren't they? In Africa, a baby can be born in a mud hut. There's a lion outside. It's covered in blood because they can't wash it. They've got no water. Oh, and it's already got AIDS. Now, by the time that joke goes on Netflix, it'll be nuanced. There'll be an underlying satirical point, I'll claim. But until then, all I've got is, baby's got AIDS. I know that it's funny. I just have to work out why. Leave it with me. Leave it with me. Also, by the time that goes on Netflix, I'd have been playing arenas around the world. It'll be hitting hard, people will be laughing. So if you are an African woman and you just had a baby in Africa, and the doctor goes, oh, I'm sorry, your baby's got AIDS. You go, oh, my God, you're there. You know, our little baby's got... You're there with your husband, and you go, oh, our baby's got AIDS, Jeff. Jeff. I know, Tracy, I'm got it too, darling. Our baby's got AIDS. Oh, should we watch some comedy to cheer us up? Yeah. What, Netflix? Yeah. What, Ricky Gervais? Duh. Yeah. And they're sad that their baby's got AIDS, but they're sort of laughing along. Armageddon, And it gets to that bit, baby's got AIDS. And she goes, oh my God, Jeff, why are they all laughing at us and our baby with AIDS? And Jeff goes, well, they're not laughing at us per se. She goes, well, they are. They've named us and everything. They're literally laughing at us in this bit. And Jeff goes, yeah, but we're a fictional couple with a fictional baby with AIDS. Anyone offended by that is a fucking moron. And then he goes, and at least he didn't do the accent. So... And then she goes, yeah, but only because Jane begged him not to. It's funny because it's true. I've done a woke version of that, brought it up to today's standards, right? So, bloke goes to the doctor. He goes, doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. And the doctor goes, well, you are then. Good than that, innit? I should do political stuff now I'm woke, but I don't like it when a comedian just spouts his own political views and it relies on the audience agreeing with him to get a round of applause. I think that loses something comedically. I want everyone to like my jokes, whatever your political persuasion. A joke shouldn't have a political wing, you know. I'm political in my private life, like everyone, you know. Like, I'm sometimes incensed by the inequalities in our society. We're in the 7th richest economy in the world, right? And there's homelessness. There's 250,000 homeless people in Britain. Now, I wish there were no homeless people, because they're fucking horrible. Aren't they? You know, oh yeah, right next to the fucking cash point, you cheeky cunt. It is a serious problem, and I hope none of you ever find yourself homeless, but if you do, my advice is heroin. Cheers you right up, apparently. I've got one of those mates. My mate said this to me in all seriousness. He said, yeah. He said, but the thing about heroin, Rick, he said, some of the greatest albums of all time were created on heroin, weren't they? I went, yeah, but they were created by some of the greatest artists of all time, weren't they? You're a plasterer, right? If I were to give you heroin, you wouldn't come up with Dark Side of the Moon, would you? You'd fall asleep watching the telly and burn the fucking house down. I should do topical, maybe the rise of the pandemic where parasites and microbes and bacteria and our antibiotics fail, or maybe those things that happen, but we're sort of evolved through it. Like, we'll find out there's pockets of sort of mutant people around the world that are slightly resistant to radiation and slightly resistant to microbes, and we'll sort of start again. Because we don't really understand the mechanism of human evolution since civilization, because it's never been based on, you know, survival of the fittest, where fittest meant just the biggest, strongest male gets to pass on his genetic material. There's other paradigms, right? Nature is brutal. Sometimes it is the biggest, strongest male that gets the female, and even then, she has a litter. If there's a runt, she goes, fuck it, kill that, eat it, share it out amongst the rest of us. Now, we don't do that in human society. We go the other way. We spend more time and care and attention on the weak and the vulnerable to give them a chance. Like, if you're a father and you've got 2 kids, you've got little Timmy, who's 6, right? You've got Jack, who's 8, and you go to little Timmy, you go, Timmy, what do you want for Christmas? And he goes, motorised wheelchair. Ah, I promised Jane I wouldn't do the voice, and I fucking forgot. It's too late now, isn't it? What do you want for Christmas, Timmy? Motorised wheelchair. Right, well, they start at £2,000, so fucking hell. What do you want, Jack? Just a tennis racket, please, Dad. Oh, good lad. Oh. How is your tennis? Best in the school. Oh, you... Good. Also, a ramp. Fuck me. What, so now we're doing fucking building work at Christmas, are we? Fuck me. Oh, sorry, Jack, can't afford your tennis racket. We've got to spend all the money on a ramp and a motorised wheelchair for this money-grabbing little fucking... Why do you need a motorised one? No arms. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. I can tell some of you feel a bit uncomfortable laughing at little Timmy, who's a little 6-year-old lad. He's got a funny little voice because his chest is all fucked. Got no arms, no legs, just like stumps, right? But let me tell you something about Timmy to make you feel better about yourselves. He's a fucking racist. Yes. Horrible little shit, he is. You little fucking bigot. You disgusting little fucking racist, you racist scum, you filthy little fucking, you fascist, you fucking, you disgust me. Homophobic? Yeah. He's like, they're not like us. Nothing's like you disgusting little fucking, you prejudiced little piece of, you ball of hate, you disgusting little fucking racist homophobe. I wish we'd had a scan. You absolute, misogynist. If he could, he'd rape. There's your little Timmy. I don't burst into hospitals and go, wake up, Baldy. Look, me twerking on TikTok. Look. No, I did a lot through the pandemic, presumably because they couldn't even see their own family. And it's through Make-A-Wish Foundation. Do you know the charity Make-A-Wish Foundation? They're great, and they give these dying kids their, like, one wish. And if it's me, I always say yes. And I always start the video the same way. I go, why didn't you wish to get better? What, you fucking retarded as well? I don't do that either, okay? These are all jokes, all right? I don't even use that word in real life, the R word. You just used it, Rick. Yeah, in a joke. That's not real life, is it? I'm playing a role. You sounded pretty convincing. Yeah, because I'm good. You wouldn't level that accusation at other art forms. You wouldn't go up to Sir Anthony Hopkins and go, oh, I saw you in Silence of the Lambs. You a cannibal, are you? No, I was playing a role. Oh, seemed pretty convincing. Yeah. It's good. And I'm good, and that's why I do things well. Imagine if I came out here and did things not very well, so you knew I was joking. That'd be fucking retarded. Has anyone ever bothered asking the dolphins if they mind swimming with dying kids? You know what I mean? Because that can't be fun for somebody. They're like flipping around and suddenly dumps a truckload of pale teenagers flailing. And the dolphin's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck's this? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, let them do it. Oh, fuck. They're all dying. Of what? That one just stuck his fingers in my fucking blowhole. He's not going to be around for long, nor am I if I can't fucking breathe. And I look out, right? I look for a boat, and I see a dinghy with about 60 of them, and I go over here like that, right? And I pull them into shore, and I go, women and children first. They go, there are no women and children. Just you lads, is it? Just, come on, lads. Come on, lads. If I go down there one day and there's no boat, I am absolutely fucking gutted. I just sort of wander into town and I stand by the traffic lights and I wait for a big lorry to pull up, right? And I look underneath and there's a lad sort of clutching like that. And I go, where you headed? And he goes, Gary Lineker's house. I go, it's just down there. Yeah. Fuck borders. Fuck, we don't need borders, do we? Be like the Vikings. They didn't care about borders, did they? I've got a little bit of Viking blood in me. Well, we all have, because of all the raping they did. They say it was raping and pillaging, but I think it was mainly for the raping. I think they added the pillaging bit for the wives. You know what I mean? They went down one day and went, right, we're off to Great Britain. Oh, why? Just a bit of pillaging. Just pillaging. Just pillaging, babe. All right. Why are you wearing your days standards, right? So, bloke goes to the doctor. He goes, doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. And the doctor goes, well, you are then. Good than that, innit? I should do political stuff now I'm woke, but I don't like it when a comedian just spouts his own political views and it relies on the audience agreeing with him to get a round of applause. I think that loses something comedically. I want everyone to like my jokes, whatever your political persuasion. A joke shouldn't have a political wing, you know. I'm political in my private life, like everyone, you know. Like, I'm sometimes incensed by the inequalities in our society. We're in the 7th richest economy in the world, right? And there's homelessness. There's 250,000 homeless people in Britain. Now, I wish there were no homeless people, because they're fucking horrible. You know, oh yeah, right next to the fucking cash point, you cheeky cunt. It is a serious problem, and I hope none of you ever find yourself homeless, but if you do, my advice is heroin. Cheers you right up, apparently. I've got one of those mates. My mate said this to me in all seriousness. He said, but the thing about heroin, Rick, he said, some of the greatest albums of all time were created on heroin, weren't they? I went, yeah, but they were created by some of the greatest artists of all time, weren't they? You're a plasterer. Right? If I were to give you heroin, you wouldn't come up with Dark Side of the Moon, would you? You'd fall asleep watching the telly and burn the fucking house down. I should do topical... I did. Yeah, the inevitable backlash, which made it the most watched special of the year, so I've learnt my lesson. No, I have learnt my lesson, and that's why I'm going to be woke from now on. It's about time. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I am woke, and now I'm woke, the first thing I've got to do is change my Twitter bio. Because at the moment, it's like a list of the shows I've created. But now I'm woke, I've got to pop in the word anti-fascist. So people know I'm not a fascist. Because that is a big problem at the moment. People come up to me on the street and they go, Rick, have you been imprisoning journalists? I go, no. They go, oh, interesting. They go, have you been gassing Jews? I go, no. They go, well, pop it in your bio then, you silly cunt. So, yeah, I'm not a fascist. It's an odd thing to just declare, isn't it, that you're not a fascist? We assume, don't we? You wouldn't go up to someone on the street and do that, would you? And go and say, oh, by the way, I'm not a fascist. You know, it's like they protest too much. It's like going into a school and going, I'm not a pedo, so just forget I even mentioned it. So these kids are safe running around me. They can run around naked for all I care. I'm not a pedo, so... Of course, the word fascist has changed. Traditionally, the word fascist meant a member of a far-right authoritarian regime that uses militarism and violence to suppress individual rights. Now, the word fascist can mean liked a Joe Rogan tweet. So, words change, yeah? And that's part of the reason I'm going to become woke, is words change, and I don't want to be left behind, you know? I don't want to end up like my granddad in the 70s. Oh, he was all like, coloureds this and queers that. Oh. Although the word queer is all right again now. So if you wait long enough, it just goes full circle. Just be patient is my... So yeah, you can use the word queer. You still can't use it as a noun, only as an adjective. You can't go up to someone and go, you're a queer, but you can go, hear about Darren? He's queer now. Saying someone's not gay if they are, which seems unfair, doesn't it? Like, I could go up to Britain's biggest gay and go, all right, Alton, all right, and he'd love that, he'd fucking love that. If that's your game, you want to be top of the pile, so to speak, right? I go, all right, Alton. You go, yeah. I go, ha, 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 ha. You're not a gay. You go, I bloody am. Right? You go, I'm going to sue you. I go, you can't. You can't. You go, but know that I am gay. I go, I don't believe you are. You go, well, come on with me and see the shit I do if you don't believe me. Of course, the word queer has changed. Again, traditionally, the word queer used to mean someone who was attracted to the same sex as themselves, a gay man. Right? Now, the word queer can mean a straight man who wants some attention. I'm all queer now. Are you? Yeah, I'm right queer now. I am. Are you? Yeah. What about your girlfriend? Yeah, she's queer and all. We're just two queers queering each other up. Suck a cock? Nah. No, didn't think so. I'm not that sort of queer. Oh, what sort of a queer are you? Dyed my hair blue. So did my grandmother, and she fucking loved cock, so what are we saying? I have no evidence for that. Balls and shit, right? But then they went, no, we want to be disabled. They didn't want to be disabled. They said, we want to be referred to as disabled. We don't like the term handicapped anymore. Stop using it. Say disabled. And we all went, OK, fine. And that's great. Just tell me the rules. And in fact, I'm a stickler for the rules. Like, if I was on a beach and a woman came running up and went, help, help, my handicapped toddler's drowning, I'd go, sorry, you're what, love? What? My handicapped toddler's drowning, he can't swim. Whoa, do you mean your disabled toddler is drowning? She go, yeah. I go, right, well, let's... Oh, dead. Wasted too much time being woke, didn't I? Well, I am woke now, and it was considered a good thing to swap ideas with other cultures, with other nations, to share things with other races, to assimilate. It was the opposite of racist. Now it's racist. Gwen Stefani got in trouble in her last video because she had her blonde hair in dreadlocks. People go, no, black people invented dreadlocks, you can't have them, you're white, that's racist. Jamie Oliver got in trouble when he put out authentic jerk chicken recipe. People go, no, black people invented that, you can't have it, you're white, that's racist. Now, black people, they use the N-word, don't they? We invented that. That's the one, isn't it? That's the one. Listen, I know white people are the worst. I know that. That's why no one likes a fucking white middle-aged man anymore until we need a boiler fixing. Then it's get the bald bloke round now. Critical race theory, have you heard of that? Being taught in schools now, particularly in trendy areas like LA, right? Just like 5-year-old kids and 6-year-old kids. If you haven't heard it, in a nutshell, critical race theory says that all white people are racist. Says that we're born racist and we continue to be racist because we're affording the privilege of a racist society set up by our forefathers, okay? So basically, all white people are racist and there's nothing we can do about it. And I think that's why we don't eat parrots. Everyone around the world eats every other type of bird, don't they? Everyone in the world eats fucking chickens and ducks and geese and turkeys and ostriches. No one eats parrots. Do you know why? If you go and try and eat a parrot, it goes, fuck off, you cunt. So speaking up really does work, right? And that has sort of been one of the themes of the show, because I know in the real world, in normal jobs, everyday life, you get in trouble. People tell you off for saying certain things or thinking certain things or even laughing at certain things, right? They say you're bad for laughing at that. And some of you take it to heart. You go, oh my God, am I a bad person? No, you're not. One, you can't choose your sense of humour. You can't, it's involuntary. And two, that's exactly what humour is for, to laugh at bad shit, to get us through it, right? And... And we've established you can't even choose your own thoughts. How often have you been on a train station and you suddenly thought, what if I just pushed that bloke? And then you go, why have I thought that? Am I a psychopath? No, you're not. You're the opposite. You're a safe pair of hands. You're testing yourself. You're reminding yourself how terrible that would be. You're a good person, right? I don't get that one. What I get is I'm talking to a really sweet old lady and I suddenly start thinking, what if I just spat in her face now? Why would I? Another theme of the show has been words change and I'm woke, haha. But here's the irony. I think I am woke, but I think that word has changed. I think if woke still means what it used to mean, that you're aware of your own privilege, you try and maximise equality, minimise oppression, be anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobic. Yes, I'm definitely woke. If woke now means being a puritanical, authoritarian bully who gets people fired for an honest opinion or even a fact, then no, I'm not woke. Fuck that. But here's the deal. Feed humans and 4% wild now. People don't realise that we have to tear down entire rainforests, the lungs of the earth, just to grow grain, to feed these cows, to feed us. We steal grain from third world countries because they want hard currency. They can't even feed their own people. We take their grain, feed our cattle. Meat eaters. If you eat meat every day, if you gave up one day a week, we'd feed another 100 million people. But I think people care. It's out of sight, out of mind. Think of the animal that most people know, their dog. They love their dog. They wouldn't let anyone hurt their dog. And a dog is a cow, is a sheep, is a deer. People love their dog so much, they won't even watch a fictional thing where a dog gets hurt. And I get that. There's a website, it's a real website. It's called doesthedogdie.com, right? And it was set up because people would watch a film or a program with a dog in it, and something would happen to the dog, and they'd turn it off. It would ruin it for them. It would ruin their day, right? So this website was set up. You could go to it, you could put in any film or TV show and ask, does a dog die? And someone would answer you, no, or whatever. And it's become a thing for anyone's phobias. Anything you don't want to see in a film, you just look up the film and they answer your question, right? So I looked up one film on here, Schindler's List. Absolutely real. Schindler's List, doesthedogdie.com, right? First question, does a dog die? No. Does a cat die? No. Are any animals abused? Someone answers, there is a chicken that's handled roughly, but otherwise unharmed. Now, I love animals more than anyone I know, but if I was Jewish, I'd be slightly offended by this avenue of questioning. Imagine that in real life. Imagine someone says, oh, yeah, my grandparents were murdered by the Nazis. You go, oh, what happened? Oh, they were dragged from their house and sent to the gas chamber. Oh, was a chicken hurt? What? But as I say, it's become, you can ask any question about anything. Someone says, is there child abuse? Is teeth damaged? Is there a hanging? Does someone struggle to breathe? Yeah. Well, yeah, yes. Someone says, does someone fall downstairs? Who's scared of slapstick? It's like... Anyway, so this website was founded in 2010, so it's run about 13 years, right? And the later questions start reflecting the times we live in now, and they get more and more fragile and narcissistic. These questions were asked this year. Check it out, Schindler's List, right? Someone says, are there any fat jokes? Would that make this worse? Well, imagine the real thing. Imagine I'm in a concentration camp, right? I'm naked, everyone around me is naked. We've got a commandant herding us towards a gas chamber, and he goes, move it, fatty, right? And I go, rude. No, that has ruined the whole experience, if I'm honest. Someone asks, is there hate speech? Yeah, there is. Suck it up, Buttercup. Are there any man in a dress jokes? Very few jokes. If you've come to this film for a giggle, you're going to be very disappointed. But this one takes the biscuit for me. Remember, this is a movie set in the 1940s about arguably the worst atrocity in civilized human history. Check this out. Is someone misgendered? Fucking hell. This is quite sweet. Is there any anti-Semitism? Yeah. This is pretty much the mother load, right? Forget Kanye. This is off the fucking charts. Don't do that when you're talking about this. Fuck's sake. I was doing the graph. I was doing like that. This is off the charts. That's... Wouldn't things have been different if that was Hitler's salute? The whole thing would have been... He goes like, it's Hitler. Like, hiya. Ambiguity. Does it have a sad ending? Yes. In the sense that 6 million Jews pointlessly lost their life, but no, in the sense there was still enough left over to build a little rockery. So... I asked one question myself on this. Is James Corden in it? I did look at one other film briefly, Titanic, right? And it's got all the same sort of questions. And the one where it goes, are any animals harmed? Someone answers, there were no explicit scenes of animals being harmed, but Rose did have a goldfish, which probably didn't make it. I think the goldfish in the bowl on the sideboard when the boat hits the iceberg, and he's all like that, right? And people are running around going, we're going in the water. And he's all smug then, and he's going, don't worry about it. Oh, no, not water. Then he gets in the sea and he goes, well, it's very salty, isn't it? It's very salty. Like, oh, he's a good hunter. Go with him. He's good for the tribe. The other way you can raise your status is have virtue. Like, oh, he's not a great hunter, but he's wise or kind or whatever, you know. And then, with the advent of social media, people suddenly discovered they could just say they were virtuous. No evidence, no proof, just loads of flags in their bio, right? And they would raise their status by bringing other people down, catching other people out. Oh, look what he said. Oh, he's not as virtuous as me. Look how good I am. Look how bad. And that's where the term virtue signalling comes from, right? And I hate it when they bring their kids into it. You can believe what you want, have opinions what you want, vote how you want, but go on a march, great. But when I see a 5-year-old holding a placard, he doesn't know what that says. That's the adult, you know. Like I saw someone tweet this once. Someone tweeted, My 4-year-old just looked up at me and said, Mummy, why does Rishi Sunak hate poor people? Never fucking happened, right? But the most annoying thing about virtual signalling is it's people being smug about having the morality of the age. You're what you're like because of where you are and when you are. Like, it's not brave of me to be an atheist in this country, in this year. It would have been brave 200 years ago, or mental, right? And it would be brave in some other countries, or mental, right? But people say things like, oh, I'm anti-racist. Yeah, well done. We all are. We know that's the way to be now, but it wouldn't have always been. Well, if you'd have been born in a different place or time, maybe you wouldn't. They go, no, I've been anti-racist whenever I was born. Well, people say things like, they go, they went, good. I went, oh, great. I went, yeah. And then the head lawyer, he was about 60 years old, he had like white hair. He went, oh, yes, there was one thing. Now, I did this joke, I don't know if you remember. It went, the world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And it goes on, at one point I go, but Dame Judi Dench said it was the role she was born to play because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her back leg and licking her own minge, right? So, this lawyer went, he said, this is all true, by the way. He went, when you say James Corden is a fat pussy, that's just referring to his role in Cats, right? I went, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Nah. And he went, okay, great. I thought, this is easy. I wanted to go, call yourself a lawyer, right? And that was it. And I went, have a great show. And I left. And as I was leaving, I saw one of the other lawyers lean in and show this head lawyer his iPhone. And the head lawyer went, oh, yeah. He went, oh, sorry, Ricky, can you come back a minute? Right, so I'm there. I went, yeah. So he had the phone there. They'd looked up the word minge. I thought I'd gotten away with it, right? So it's now like I'm getting told off. And the head lawyer said, now it says here that the word minge is a derogatory term for female genitalia. I went, well, yeah, it's a slang word for vagina in England. You don't even use it here, do you? He went, no, we don't, but we got around the world, and with due diligence, now we know it's derogatory, we'll have to bleep that word live. I went, don't bleep the word, like, because people at home won't know what I've said. It'll ruin the... I said, it's literally the punchline. He said, if it's derogatory, I have to... I said, well, what word could I use that you wouldn't bleep? And he went, well, you could say vagina. I went, I'm not saying vagina, right? Anything funny about it. It's so clinical. I was thinking, Judi Dench at home going, why is he talking about my actual vagina, right? I said, minge isn't like that. It's like, it's not so specific, because vagina's so... Where's your vagina? There, right? Where's your minge? There. It's like... Then one of the younger lawyers went, what about box? I went, I'm not fucking saying box, mate, right? So imagine looking at her own box. Right? I said, minge is perfect. I said, people won't know what... If they're American, they won't know it. I said, it's not offensive. It's like... I said, kids use the word in England. Right? They weren't having it. So I said, what about flange? Right? So they looked up the word flange, right? And he went, well, that'd just be confusing, because in America, a flange is a part of a sink unit. I went, oh, well, I said, please let me say minge and don't bleep it. I was really rooting for minge, right? It was like 12 Angry Men. I go, no one's leaving till I can say minge, right? And after about 10 minutes, I wore them down. Whatever they said, that won't work. So I was going, please. I said, I'll write them. You won't get any complaints and all this sort of... And eventually, the head lawyer went, OK, you can say minge. I went, and you won't bleep it. He went, no, we won't bleep it. I went, you promise? He went, yes. And I left. I knew they would. And they fucking did, right? So, when I said minge, I pointed. The most frequently asked question I get about the Golden Globes is always, was someone so angry about what you said about them, they came up to you afterwards and want to... I always go, oh, God, no. I wouldn't even say if that had happened, because I don't like gossip, to be honest, right? There was one guy I thought took it the wrong way, right? It wasn't a bad... No, the cameras went to him, and I'm not in control of the cameras, so I think he was caught in the headlights. It was Elton John, right? But It wasn't a bad joke. I was introducing Madonna, okay? And I later found out that him and Madonna were in this feud, and he hated being mentioned in the same sentence as her. But I didn't know at the time. I was confused, right? And it wasn't part of the monologue, but I'm there for like 3 hours, right? And now and again, the stage manager put her head around the door and go, do you want to introduce so-and-so? And I go, yeah, fine. And I come out and I either do it straight or I ad-lib. And this was little ad-lib because I saw Alton in the front row, right? So this was a joke. I came out and I said, our next presenter is the Queen of Pop. Not you, Alton. Sit down, right? And it sort of went to him, he sort of went, and I was like, oh, fuck, he hated that. And I was thinking, why is he, I was like, oh, God, do you think I'm homophobic? Oh, I'm not homophobic. There's always in my head. Then I thought, he must have heard worse, right? In the 1980s, right, when Elton John was in the closet, he wasn't out, he was married to a woman, right? He was also chairman of Watford Football Club. And he and his then wife would go along and watch Watford play, and the entire crowd would sing, don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. Which puts my little quip into... The judge goes, why did you kill that person? He goes, no reason. The judge goes, so you're not a bigot? He goes, oh, no. The judge goes, ah. 10 years. Right? Some other guy's got a gun. He goes, I fucking hate dwarves. Right? He sees a little dwarf. He takes aim, bang, kills the dwarf dead. Right? He goes to court. The judge goes, why did you kill that dwarf? He goes, because I hate the little cunts. Right? Judge goes, you're a bigot. 20 years. Now, he shouldn't get more for shooting a dwarf. If anything, it's a harder shot. Isn't it? Like, if I was that judge, I'd go, what, you shot a dwarf at 100 metres, yeah? Fucking props, that is 5 years in the army. Get him in the army. I feel bad about that joke because I was reading about the tough time dwarves have had through history. Like, in medieval times, they used to torture them and kill them. They used to put them in barrels with spikes and roll them down the hill for a laugh, right? And then in Victorian times, they'd stick them in the circus and make them do dangerous fucking things. And then as late as the 1980s, right, I remember colleges used to have events like dwarf throwing, where they were like darts on a thing, or dwarf bowling. And eventually someone said, what the fuck are we doing? Can we stop making dwarves do shit for our entertainment? And it stopped. And now it's back. Now they're in the Special Olympics. Now they've got, they're going, let's race them. And, let's throw them in the water and see if they can swim. They can. So, it needs a bit of work, that one, doesn't it? I don't know. People don't realise how much goes into one of these tours. My last tour, I did 60 new material nights. Then I did like 25 work-in-progress shows. Then I did an 85-day arena tour around the world, honing it all the time. One critic sat at his kitchen table, said, lazy. He called me immature and vulgar. Four-eyed cunt. I'm at that age now where everything annoys me. I say this once a day. I go, why don't things just fucking work? Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, the remote control for the TV, working fine. Go back to it. What's happened in the last fucking 10 seconds? What? The phone signal where I live in Hampstead is shit. I walk around the mansion going, can you hear me now? And if you make a phone call in the lovely cobbled streets of Hampstead, you can have 5 bars, having a chat, lovely. Well, you go one step in the wrong direction. Do you know why the phone signal's so shit in Hampstead? Because everyone's posh there. And no one wants one of those pylons in their garden, because they look shit and give you cancer. But I've said to the council, let's find a blind person who's already got cancer. Put it in their garden. Don't even fucking tell them. Don't even... and shower would be my back going, right? And just sort of crumple into the floor and have to be helped to my bunk by 2 big gay rapists. And they just put me down naked and leave. And I go, lads, before you go, I've done my shouldering. Can you little tug, right? And they go, nah. I go, what do you mean, no? You're literally gay rapists. They go, we're not monsters. I'd also be a bit more confident these days going to jail because I've got a bit of cash. I reckon I could buy my way out of danger. Do you know what I mean? Like the first day I'd go, right, who's in charge? Who's Mr. Big? And they go, Chopper Harris, D-Wing, right? I go, so I go and see Chopper, and I go, right. I said, right, I'm in for a year. There's £1 million waiting for you if you make sure no one beats me up, steals my food, no one so much as fingers me. I've never said that before. I've never... Chopper would be like, there's no foreplay in jail, mate. I'm at that age where I'm glad we haven't got a Harold Shipman knocking round. Do you know what I mean? Those of you too young to know who Harold Shipman is, right? He is our most prolific serial killer, right? He killed 300 people. He killed old people. That's my point. He'd have his eye on me, go, oh, give him a few more years. And he was a doctor, right? But the reason you haven't heard of him, right, is because he never appears in those lists of the worst serial killers. And he was like one of the worst ever, but he didn't act like a serial killer, right? He was a GP, he was old school, he had a little shirt and tie, little tweed jacket, little beard, little glasses. He'd do house visits, he'd go around to see Edna, 85. You all right, Edna? Yeah. Do you want a cup of tea? Yes, please. And he'd make Edna a lovely cup of tea, right? Then he'd just put her in a lethal amount of opioids, right? And he'd just give Edna the tea and watch her drink it and fall asleep and die. And that was it. He didn't even masturbate. You know, yes, it is a waste, sir, yeah. Yes, and they reckon he got the idea when he was a little lad, Harold Shipman, little Harold Shipman. He watched his mum dying of lung cancer, being given morphine, and somewhat triggered him. He thought, I'll grow up, become a doctor, and I'll do this. I don't know whether it means that he liked the way the morphine got his mum out of pain. So these were like mercy killings, like, you know, reliving the kindness. Or the opposite, he was jealous of old people who lived longer than his mum should have, so he was punishing them. I don't know, doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter, because if you can really understand why someone does something like that, you might spot the signs in the future and stop a crime before it happens, you know. I always think that when there's a school shooting in America, right, it's usually some emo, right, who goes into a kindergarten, kills about 30 toddlers, turns the gun on himself, right? And all the eyewitnesses, they always say the same thing. They go, oh, he was a loner, he sat at the back, he was shy, he was bullied. Let's round those cunts up now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, go into a school, see who the bully's smashing up, right? Go, I'll take it from here, mate, thank you, right? And drag that little dweeb off to Borstal or jail or so. Go to the bully, go and find another one. You know what I mean? He's doing a great job, but we need more. But they're beating up future child killers. This fucking waterlogged Gary Busey, fucking albino Eggman thing. He can't string a sentence together. Have you heard him talk? He's like, he's a fucking moron. That eye punch up, I have a go at people like, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, right? Yes, the greatest brain that's ever lived. He can take it. And he wouldn't even have minded when he was alive, because he's part robot, isn't he? I think he's basically a talking chair, so you can say what you want. And he was on Epstein's Island, apparently, so fuck him. I don't... What was he doing there? Why do I want to go? Why? Why do I? You're like just there doing fuck. I would go, what? I know pedos who'd kill for a ticket to that, and he's just taking up a space. It's probably DEI or something, and they go, we need one. Like, I'll go, what are you doing here, Steve? He go, I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. That is probably a hate crime. The joke that went around when I was a kid, even adults told it, right? I tell you, it was a woman goes running into a police station. She says, help, help, I've been graped. And the policeman says, do you mean raped? She says, no, there was a bunch of them. Right? That is a rape joke, right? So, and I even said to her, I said, no, I agree in most, yeah, real rape jokes where they're fucking horrible and the victim is the target. They're disgusting. I'd never tell those. But it depends on the joke, not the word or the subject, right? And I think I calmed it down. I said, and they agreed, yeah, some jokes are worse than others, right? And she ended it with saying, well, okay, I see your point, but still, I will laugh at a joke with the word rape in it when I know that no one in the audience has been raped, right? I should have left it. I just sent back, what a weird door policy. It's rubbing salt in the wound, isn't it? You turn up to a comedy gig, you pay your money, and someone says, oh, before you go in, love, can I just ask you a question? Yeah. Have you ever been raped? I have, yes. You can't come in. What? Why? There's a lady who says she won't laugh if you're in. Come on, off you go, right? But again, that's what the world is like. People take everything personally. I think the world revolves around them, right? Particularly on Twitter, right? I don't know, I'm not tweeting anyone, I'm just tweeting, okay? I don't know who's following me. I've got 12 million followers. I don't know who's following me. They can be following me without me knowing, right? Choose to read my tweet and then take that personally. That's like going into a town square, seeing a big notice board, and there's a notice, guitar lessons, and you go, but I don't fucking want guitar lessons. What's this? There's a number here. All right, call that, right? Are you giving me guitar lessons? Yeah. I don't fucking want any. Fine, it's not for you then. Just walk away. Don't worry about it. I should say one thing in Twitter's defense. I mean, I use it as a marketing tool and for fun like everyone else, right? But one great thing about Twitter, for me personally, I'm very into sort of anti-animal cruelty. And years ago, it would take ages to get 100,000 signatures on a, a petition standing outside Tesco's or something, right? And that's the magic number, because then it gets heard, in Parliament. And I've been part of many campaigns through Twitter that we've got 100,000 signatures in days, maybe, and the law's been changed. So thank you to anyone who's ever retweeted anything to do with animal cruelty, because it really makes a difference. So thank you. And someone else eating nuts in the vicinity would cause her to have a fatal reaction. I went, oh my God. She went, yeah. I said, oh, of course, yeah. I was fuming. I mean, what's that got to do with me? Why can't I eat nuts just because fucking this woman will die, right? Nuts. I mean, how has she lived this long? If walking by a nut kills you, if being just near a nut, how has she never been near a nut before? And how has she lived long enough, having never been near a nut, how has she lived long enough to earn enough money to be near me on a plane, right? Honestly, it's... And if being near a nut kills you, do we really want that in the gene pool? I mean, I've never wanted nuts more. I felt that she was infringing on my human right to eat nuts, right? And this is how spoiled I am, okay? I actually had this thought. I thought, oh, no, I wish I'd bought my own nuts on, right? And I thought that for about a second. I thought, oh, no, that wouldn't work, because she'd get on, right? She'd start going, oh, blowing up like a frog, right? And die, right? And then someone would go, Ricky Gervais bought his own nuts on, right? And go, right? So, of course, I don't take my own nuts on. What I do now, before I fly, I have a shower, and then I rub myself all over in nuts, just in case. Because then they go, oh, can I have any nuts? I go, oh, no, not nuts. A lady getting on, so allergic, she'd die. I go, yeah, not a problem, right? Lady gets on, sits down, starts blowing up like a frog, going, right? I'm going, what's the matter? I'm touching her all over. I go, what's the matter? What's the matter, love? And she goes, oh, nuts, right? And dies, and I go, who's been eating nuts? I get off scot-free. So I got to America, I went on the chat show, right? The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, right? And I told that story, the whole thing, right? And went well, audience laughed, great, went out, fine. Next day on Twitter, outrage. And by outrage, I literally mean one person going, how dare you, right? This woman had seen that she was like, I saw you on Jimmy Fallon, it was disgusting, making fun of nut, and my daughter's nut intolerant, how dare you, children die. I'm going, oh my God, who's this woman? And she's tweeted me about 15 times. She starts atting NBC and Jimmy Fallon. I'm going, why is she stirring up trouble? How many followers? 23, ignore it, don't worry about it, right? And you know when you're being told off and they use your own silly words against you, like a teacher going, what, you find so-and-so funny? And because the teacher's really angry, right? Yes, you do find that thing funny, whatever they... She said, would you find it funny if my daughter blew up like a frog? Yeah, because you saying that, yes. If you said that at the funeral, I would, yes, yeah. So, right, and then someone else gets involved, Ohio Mums Against Nuts, right? And she does a blog, right, and they're talking to each other, and she puts me in her blog about how disgusting I am, how many children die, and all this sort of stuff. One of them even filmed her little girl, right, and put it on YouTube and sent me the link, and I opened the link. It was a sweet little girl, about 7 years old, and she just went, "Dear Miss Gervais, I have a fatal nut allergy." Delete. Not my problem, right? Ignore, right? But then one of them said something that reeled me in, just because I'm this self-professed Twitter police, right? Try and explain to someone every day what freedom of speech means, particularly in the context of comedy, and particularly in the context of a joke, that a joke about a bad thing isn't as bad as the bad thing. It's not even necessarily condoning the bad thing. It could be anti the bad thing. It depends on the actual joke. And this woman said, you should never make jokes about food allergies. I should have left it, right? I sent back, I make jokes about AIDS, cancer, famine, and the Holocaust, right? And you're telling me I should never joke about food allergies. She sent back, yes, but the Holocaust didn't kill children. Well, it did, didn't it? It was horrible, the Holocaust. Some would say as bad as food allergies. Didn't kill children. Jesus. It did kill children. Oh my God, Hitler killed 12 million people, many of them children. Hitler, I've just got to say, Hitler, you couldn't make him up. He is the worst human being to ever walk the face of the earth. He's a crazy, evil, racist, narcissistic serial killer. Just terrible. But if I was throwing a dinner party and I'd been slaving all day over a hot stove, right? And I was getting everything ready, right? And there was one place left, and I had to either invite Hitler or that little girl with food allergies. I know it would ruin that party more, you know what I mean? Everyone's enjoying it. How is everything? He's going, yeah, it's yummy, right? And I'm going, he's loving it. I'm going, cheers. Oh, you fuck. How you doing, boy, about that, right? She's going, I can't eat that. Oh, fucking hell, I'll get this time. Who wants Ferrero Rocher? Me! Right? I can't eat them. Oh, fuck off home, right? But that's what the world is over bad stuff, right? Typical Bob story. He once spent an hour in the pound shop in Hayling Island just asking the cashier how much everything was. Just to see if he could break this poor man's will. Right? And Bob was the first person I saw answer back to authority, and the first authority you come across are your parents, right? And he'd have an argument, he'd get in trouble, he'd get sent to bed, right? But I thought, no, he won the argument, though, right? And he teased my mum, and... So, my mum was a typical working-class woman, I think, in that, as I say, we lived in a shitty area, right? And most of the houses had, like, a bit of mud and a stolen bike and fence posts missing. She mended the fence, she turfed the garden herself, she painted the step, because she thought, if it looked respectable, we'd be respectable. So it was about reputation, I guess. And so Bob would send her postcards that just read, is that paedophile postman still reading your mail? And she'd take it and she'd go in and she'd be horrified. And she'd call Bob and go, Bob, he saw it this time, you've got to stop doing that. Even at her funeral, my mum died first, and my dad carried on for a year or so, just drinking beer in the garden, and he went, right? But for my mum's funeral, we sort of split up into different duties. I went and did sort of catering and flowers, and Bob went to see the local vicar. That was a mistake, right? We'd never been to church. He didn't know us. We didn't know him. So he just said to Bob, tell me about your mum so I can say a few words. And Bob saw that as an opportunity, right? So Bob, with a straight face, said to him, well, she was a keen racist. And the vicar went, oh, I can't say that. Bob went, OK, but she liked gardening, right? And he was trying to get something past the vicar, so the vicar would say something and make us laugh in church. He didn't warn us, right? And he did get something by the vicar. So we're called Ricky, Robert, Bob, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Larry. Now, Larry is the oldest. He's in his 70s, born in the war, right? I've always thought he was the sensible one, OK? I suppose firstborn, weight of the world on his shoulders. In fact, my mum told me that when he was a teenager, he got a job and he gave her the money to bring up the rest of us, to help out, right? So he's a stand-up guy, Larry, right? So Bob gives the vicar the wrong name. Didn't warn us. We're all in church, right? Start of the funeral, we're all there, right? Packed out, right? The coffin comes down, guided by the vicar, the coffin gets down. The vicar goes to his pulpit, all confident with his little notes, right? And he goes, Eva leaves behind 4 loving children, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Barry. And we snort like that, right? Bob sort of goes, looks around. Everyone realised what's that. We were all fucking laughing. We see Larry go, right? And the church is like, every time we thought of it, we'd see Larry go, right. And then it would just start giggling, just fits and fucking giggles, right? And then Larry eventually sort of started doing this, right? And the vicar's thinking, what have I said, right? And he put in a few little things that the vicar would know about that he said would set us off again, just things that were just lies or just slightly wrong. And my niece and nephew started crying, and I'd come prepared, right, with a little packet of those tissues. I was giving them those, and they were taking one and handing it on. But before the funeral, I'd taken all the tissues out, written on them, carefully folded them back and put them in. So they were pulling out a tissue and it said, snivelling fucking bitch, right? And they're sort of laughing, right? So it was like a madhouse, right? Everything the vicar said or did, we all started just fucking laughing, right? And you could see the vicar was visibly sort of shook a little bit, right? And he ended the funeral and he made a beeline over for me and Bob, right? And he came and said, sorry, was that okay? And me and Bob went, it was fucking brilliant, mate. It was fucking brilliant, mate. And that's what I'm talking about. We're all gonna die. So we should have a laugh, because if you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof, okay? And me and my brother Bob had one simple rule, and that was, if you think of something funny, you've got to say it, right? Win, lose, or draw, right? It might go well. It might go badly, but you've got to say it. And bear that in mind as I leave you with this. Right. So, we're all in the car one day, right? Bob's driving, right? Packed in this car, going for a little day trip to the beach, right? And we get stopped, a little security check, right? And there's a British Bobby there, like that, and he just stops the car. Bob winds down the window, he said, where are we off to then? Bob went, Bognor. Right? He went, can you just pop the boot, please? So he looks there, looks in the boot like that, yeah, like, goes back up to Bob's window, gets that mirror on a stick thing, and he starts just looking under the car like that. And as he does that, his helmet falls off, right? And out of the helmet falls a packet of 20 cigarettes. And the copper just went, oh, I bet you've always wondered what we kept